What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we dive into a Sultai Gyruda deck that I kind of came across that recently did very well. I actually talked about it in one of my other videos where I talked about various lists of decks that surprisingly seem to perform fairly well even in the current meta. And this is one of those decks that I actually found an interest in just because I remember when Gyruda decks first came out, when it first dropped, when the campaigns dropped. It was one of those decks that people thought was overpowered. I mean, there was a lot of cards in the format, but then eventually after a few weeks and people kind of figured out the meta at that point, it kind of died off and we didn't really hear much from it. So to see a Gyruda deck kind of pop up and still perform very well, I think it's one of those things that people just don't expect as often, as it being a very interesting deck. I don't think it's as good as maybe it used to be, just because there's no various ways like we used to have that you could essentially create multiple copies of Gyruda as a whole. But let alone, it is still very impactful that if we can get it out on the battlefield in a good way, we can definitely mill our opponent some cards, we can mill ourselves some cards, get some very strong creatures out for pretty much free, and kind of go off against our opponent in that sense. I mean, overall, I mean, from what the deck looks like, it looks like the low end of the deck is a lot of ramp to trying to get Gyruda out a little earlier than normal, and then as we get to the top end / the higher end of the deck, there's a lot of things that kind of like you're hoping to hit with the Gyruda as you flip over the top of your cards of your library and hopefully get to a Gyruda hit, and then eventually overwhelm your opponent with the powerful cards that you can hit off of Gyruda. I mean, overall, like I said, this list is fairly interesting. I'm not sure how it will perform in a best of one meta that is a lot of, you know, rogue mill in a sense, or just rogues in general, which mill your cards. But I mean, if you're also milling yourself, you're also milling your opponent, so hopefully that benefits us in that sense, and maybe we can take advantage of milling our opponent's rogues to kind of get that advantage. There's a few cards in the deck itself that kind of help us against that rogue matchup, like something like Massacre Worm, because it's an ability to give us a way to just do damage across the board, to maybe killing off a lot of our opponent's weaker rogues, making our opponent, you know, give their creatures -2/-2, and then them lose some life. And then if we ever hit the thoughts that we can have things of re-triggering Gyrudas. But I mean, overall, the deck is pretty straightforward on what we're trying to hit. I mean, we got a couple of things. We have the Gyrudas, which is a good card. We have the Koglas, we have the Massacre Worms. Umori's in here for the early game to hopefully make our Gyruda cheaper. We have Pelucranos. And just some other things we can escape. Like the Pelucranos is one of our main escape cards, which helps us eliminate cards from our graveyard to allow us to replay it. Essentially, you know, eliminating that process of rogues and benefits from having X amount of cards in our graveyard. We play Thassa's, we play Nayla, and I think that's really it in a sense. We also have Artist, which helps us kind of like make piles, make our opponents make decisions of what we want. We have ways of getting things back from our graveyard to our hand in case, you know, something gets you know, discarded or milled to the graveyard, so that's very good. But overall, it looks like a lot of heavy ramp in the beginning, and then hopefully by turn 5, turn 6, maybe in turn 4, if we get really lucky on the ramp, we can definitely get out a easy Gyruda. But with that being said, guys, let's dive into some games, see how the deck performs. I'm not sure how I expect. Maybe we'll go 50% on the games that we play and how we'll overall perform, but it'll be very interesting to see how this overall plays out. But first, guys, if you like the video, hit that like button. It definitely helps the channel out a bunch. If you're new here, you want to know I post more videos, hit that subscribe button. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers. And I'm going to try to get back into a consistent schedule. It's just been a little hectic with work and stuff, so I do apologize in that sense. So with that being said, guys, let's dive into some games. Let's get some wins and have some fun while doing it. We're on the play first. This hand's okay. It's got a little bit of ramp. So I guess we'll play and see how this works out. Our opponent's probably like looking and it's like, this person's playing Gyruda. It's like, what? I haven't seen that card in like a minute. All right, so we'll play the Triome because we don't got a turn 1 play, of course. That will help us get enough mana for Lotus Cobra next turn. All right, they're going very early into the Evolving Wilds, playing green, it looks like, of some sort. What mana do we have here? We have all these colors, so maybe additional. I don't think it really matters, but we'll go additional black. And we'll do the Lotus Cobra. Next turn we can actually play a Fabled Passage and actually get a Solemn out, which is very good. I think our opponent's like dissecting what we're doing here and being like, okay, when can you get Gyruda out? Another Evolving Wilds. Okay, so they're sacrificing a lot of their sack lanes very early. They're also playing Evolving Wilds, so that is good for us. Sure. I think I'll get whatever to fix my mana pool. I think I only play Sultai, so additional green's good for us. And then we'll get another land, which only unfortunately doesn't allow us to play anything additional, but if we get a land here, I mean, it's possible if we could play like a Kogla or something, depending on what they play out here. That's fine. It doesn't really help them do too much. We got a land. If I take this now, I have 2 mana open. I'll buy it, I guess. Play a land, create a green, play a Wolf Wallow onto that, and then playing this, and then no attacks. So I mean, we're pretty much at 6. So even our opponent destroys the Lotus Cobra, we have enough mana on the bottom end here to essentially play Gyruda. All right, opponent's playing a lot of lands. I don't know what they're trying to go for though. All right, so they're ramping into Ugin, I'm guessing. I think I Kogla here actually. So if they play Gyruda, they play Gyruda, right? We can essentially replay we can essentially replay it next turn. Yeah, we'll just play the land and say go. Black. We'll end turn. I could have played the obelisk there, but if they're gonna do anything to wipe the board, I might as well keep the board presence or like keep something back to get stuff back onto the battlefield. I guess our opponent's also debating on if they're dead next turn, because I actually think we're one short of lethal. Sacrifice X lands for each land sacrifice, so you may draw X cards. You may pinch X additional lands into the battlefield tap this turn. All right. Interesting. So I don't know what just happened. I guess we'll do a black. I guess we'll play Gyruda. Oh man, if I would have known. Darn. But I mean, it still worked in our benefit. All right, opponent's on the play first. We have a lot of ramp. But what does that do for us? I guess that's good because we don't have a lot of wasted ramp, I guess. Looks like Selesnya so far. So depending on what we draw here. Okay, so I think we play the Fabled Passage first. That doesn't really matter. Let's do it at the end of their turn. We'll keep priority. Goose. It's a goose. Sure. Let's crack and get... I guess we'll get a black mana. Triome is good. Yeah, we'll get Lotus Cobra on the battlefield and say go. Next turn we can play. If we do this right, we can play another Solemn. Glass Casket, that's fine. Make him waste the removal. And if that's the case, I guess it's a good time to play a Triome than any. And then play a Dryad. I'm kind of interested. Blue, green, white. Like what do we got? We got Glass Casket, which is spot removal. Green, white ramp. Hasn't really shown me too much that it's trying to do anything super crazy. We drew a Gyruda, which is really good. If we would have had the Lotus Cobra, that would have been a turn for Gyruda. I guess Triome into Solemn. Yeah, we'll take action. We'll get another green. I mean, we have all the colors that we need here. I mean, the blue, the black, we have the green. So it's, I mean, it's pretty much a done deal next turn to play. The Gyruda. They may not see the Gyruda coming out of hand though, because it's still on the side. That's fine. I mean, if you want to get rid of a Solemn, I mean, that's a very valid target. So yeah, I mean, I guess we Gyruda here. That's fine. I mean, I don't honestly, other than maybe a couple spells, we really don't play a lot of things with spells. I mean, they could get this back next turn, which is not great. Yorion. So are they gonna get rid of Gyruda? I would assume. I'm assuming they're getting rid of this. Glass Casket does nothing for them if they get rid of that. They can get rid of Lotus Cobra. Alright, if that's what they want to get rid of, that's fine. Draw a card. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I guess we'll draw it. We'll get the land now. We'll grab their one blue source. What do I have in here? Just a bunch of lands. I'll take this one. I mean, it's not like they're gonna really. All right, you're taking 6. Nice. Let me see what you got. At least show me one to get rid of. All right, you don't need that, I guess. You can stay at your 4 lands. That produces 2 mana. I could just play another one. There. I mean, they can hit me for 4. Maybe they have the Prince would be good. It looks like they're counting what they got on the board. I mean, they can't really Wicked Wolf. Okay, so they're gonna sacrifice a food token. You gonna make more food? Because that's not enough. That's only 5. Okay. I'm confused. So they're gonna sacrifice the food to eat food? Oh, I'm so confused now. Okay, you're just gonna get rid of all your stuff off the board until the end of my turn. So you're just gonna allow me to hit you with a Gyruda? You are. Let's see. What do you want to do? Do we play the second one and just try to get something to fight the Gyruda? I think is possibly the good play. Oh, that's not very good, is it? We'll get a green mana. Yeah, we'll end turn. You can get rid of my Gyruda, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm assuming you get rid of Gyruda. You're assuming you're gonna flashback Yorion. He's not in a place yet where he's comfortable. And all I am is just one gorilla guy away from fighting away his Charmin Prince or his Yorion. I mean, he could be looking for an Ugin, which I mean would be pretty good here, but that gets rid of a lot of his stuff. All right, so second Yorion. Still fine. Like I'm not really worried if he's just getting rid of like all this stuff, because eventually another Yorion's gonna come back. If he starts getting rid of his board, he's in a weird position. Interesting. All right, I'll play another Gyruda because I don't have one. Might as well mill you some more. And that can't actually get targeted by anything, so that's good. I can get in for 2 damage and he just gets rid of one. We'll say no, and then we'll end turn. Now, if I can get to like the turn where he has all this out, like if this resolves perfectly the way I would think it's going to resolve, I may get to a turn where I can eliminate what he has on board. It's fine. See, the one thing, unless he's like thinking that he's not going to need to, he should have gotten rid of the glass casket and then get rid of the scavenger news, because I think the scavenger news is a bigger threat. Sure. Okay, 3/3. What is it? Vigilance? Trample. Interesting. All right. Pass the blockers. I don't have any blockers. Pass the damage. In response, I will. Let's take a look at your graveyard. Let's get rid of this. Let's start eating stuff. Just in case you get, you know, ever they get that Elspeth Conqueror's Death up kind of high. We'll get rid of that. You don't need the apparition. Oh, okay. I don't know what I did, but I did something. I ate 2 things and he was like, no, I don't want it. I don't know. All right, we're on the play. Hand is playable. Is it great? It's okay. Looking at possibly a turn 4 Gyruda if everything works in my favor. Just unless they're playing a very unfavorable matchup, so we'll Sultai here. Get some untapped lands. Because next turn could be Yamori. Witch's Oven. Interesting. Haven't seen Witch's Oven in a minute. Alright, that's perfectly fine. I mean, if you want to burn your small removal, that is all good, my dude. Yeah, we'll take another one. Just in case they have more spot removal. What does that do? Enters battlefield, plus whenever another creature control dies, I add a +1/+1 counter, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever this dies, create an XX green Hydra token with X. Oh, okay. Creature. I mean, you do you, dude. I will take 3. I will take 3 as tribute. Make me piles, dude. Make me a pile. Ooh. I think I chose right. I have 2 more Koglas, so it's fine. I think we get rid of here just on the basis of we could get another Kogla and then fight the Pelucranos or the Grak Maw. No whammies, no whammies. I don't think I have enough. We'll get that though. Make my creatures cost less. No tax. No blocks? I don't know why you fought it. Interesting. So their problem is they use this fight spell, but the problem is they guess in my head, I think what they thought would happen is that if this dies from fighting the Gyruda, I don't know why I'm saying Gyruda, that it would die and it would gain plus X +1/+1 counters. But the thing is, in case you don't know and you play like Greek Maw or something, is that the damage is prevented and you remove these counters from it. So it doesn't actually die with those counters on it. So essentially this ability doesn't go into effect because if it had +1/+, it doesn't technically now have +1/+1 counters on it. So this is just a little fun fact in case you are unsure. So the only way they could have gotten the +1/+1 counters on it would have been if they sacrificed it to the Witch's Oven. So essentially that's the only way to make this much stronger. Just food for thought. Our hand's not very quick. It does have some interesting things though, so I mean it could work out in our favor. We are going a little bit slower with the tap lands. So this may be, if we do get against a very aggressive matchup, this hand may not be great. But You know what? For the sake of the video, we'll keep the hand. Maybe we can scry better and draw better. All right. Black red's not always great because Rakdos has speed, because you know red has access to a lot of creatures with haste, so they don't like their top card, which could be good for us. Untap land is good, so we'll keep. Next time we play untap land into Wolfwallow. Oh, someone's reading Gyruda. It's probably been a minute since they've seen that card. We'll get rid of that. Yeah, we'll go put it on the blue lane. I don't if they're highlighting their Croxa. I mean, you can't play it just yet. You need more cards in your graveyard. You have a single card in the graveyard, which is the card. Next turn is a Thassa, possibly. My Triton's okay. It's perfectly fine. I mean, it could also be... right? Maybe we do this. Put some menace on the board. Make him select cards from a pile. Opponents get really weird when it comes to this type of stuff. Ooh, lands. I mean, I'll take lands any day. They're probably thinking that they may have gotten a victory there, but I will take this ramp to get into what we need. They have 4 cards. They're 2 cards away from playing another Croxa. You can swing as for 1, but we'll just take it. I mean, I'll swing back for 3 menace. You're still 2 cards short, dude, and you'd have to get rid of one of your Croxes. That's fine. If you kill the creature, it's no big deal. I take 2. I'm not worried about being at 18 health on turn 4. Okay. It's a good card. That is also a good card. We're at 4 mana. So I think what we'll do here is we'll put a Triome into play. We'll play a Thassa, which now allows us to just kind of access this over and over again every time it comes into the battlefield. And we'll also untap. So you can't block, it has menace. We will now we'll retrigger that, making us choose from 2 piles again. Essentially helping us just kind of find whatever we need. And with having the Alkalite in our hand, we can always get back whatever's in the graveyard that we discard from the 1. So and our opponent really, yeah, I mean, I'll take the 2 cards. I'll take lands. Lands are always supreme. I mean, I can always get back, like I said, whatever is in the graveyard. I mean, next turn it is a Gyruda. They're gonna hit me for 3, at least in the air. Probably more if they swing in 5. It is a human, actually, I just realized. So if we do get we'll block here. I'll take 3. I can get it back with a Alkalite trigger. Oh, so they don't play anything else. Interesting. Oh, now they have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gyruda. Gyruda. Each mill 4. I think so. I think my thinking is that this doesn't actually work the way I think it's gonna work. But if it does, I mean, I'm more for it. You can kill it. That's fine. The next turn, this puts you in an awkward predicament because you either kill the Gyruda or you let it live. So it's like, what do you do? I don't have reach. Okay. Still not doing anything, are you? Interesting. You're the one with priority. That's perfectly fine. Still fine. Oh, you know, I could have played a Wolf Wall of Haven. All right. Going ham, aren't you, my dude? Going ham. I don't think I really need a particular color, so we'll get this, and then we'll just get another blue. Wait, am I actually short? I thought I had the mana. Interesting. 1, 2. Oh, it tapped the wrong. Damn, I miscounted. I thought I actually had enough. All right, they can remove the alkalate. Oh no, we still have. Oh no, we're at 10. That's a good game. What did we put in there that did it? It was the artifact. It was the Solemn. It's not rocket science, my dude. Just attack. You have 10 in the air. You have 10 in the air. You want me just to discard a card? You still have 10 in the air. You're a moron. Like, you didn't have to play Crocs, just swing. Sometimes, you know? And we are back, guys. I mean, overall, the games went fairly well. I think it did catch a couple people off guard. That last game, I think we got into a weird predicament that, you know, we just didn't really draw into a lot of things that really helped us out. I also did the wrong math at the end there. I thought I had enough mana to play the Gyruda that I brought to my hand after playing this thing, so maybe that was my fault. But other than that, I mean, overall, the deck is fun. It is fun when you get the combo out. Don't know if it's gonna win you all the games. I mean, we didn't really play anything super duper aggressive. I mean, maybe that last game was kind of aggressive, but with that being said, guys, I mean, this is definitely a fun deck to check out. I mean, if you do have cards, if you've been playing Magic the Gathering for a while, this does have a lot of cards that you should just already have. Just over time, if you've been putting a decent amount of budget into Magic overall. There are a few new cards that are definitely a little harder to get. But if you just want a fun little combo deck that, you know, works sometimes to kind of, you know, go off and get, like, you know, just, you know, weird triggers and makes your opponent kind of confused, because like I said, I think we played every single opponent was like kind of caught off guard seeing Gyruda, whether it's the first time they've seen the deck work or if it's the first, or it's been a while since they've actually seen someone play Gyruda. The deck is fun. If you guys like the video, hit that like button. I definitely appreciate it. As I'm doing this little bit of an outro, you know, if you see these videos here, YouTube's probably recommending you some sort of video that's in relation to this, so you click on one of those, definitely helps out as well. If you want to know when I post more videos, guys, and new here, hit that subscribe button. It definitely means a lot to me. We are getting close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I do appreciate every single one of you guys who watch my videos, and not even if you don't subscribe, I appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.